Hi everyone, it's Johnny Procrastinator here, finally back with another haul video. Some of the records I've picked up over the last few months. I've got a lot more, but I'm going to narrow this down just to about half a dozen or so of ones that I've listened to and have an opinion on. I lost track of what order I bought these things in, so I'm just going to grab a few and show them to you today. And I'm going to start off with a couple of freebies actually. First of all, we have one that was generously donated by my good friend Lee. Cheers Lee. This is the Super Groups. This is a Ronco compilation. Now if you saw this in a charity shop from a distance, you'd probably just pass it by thinking it was just another generic 70s pop compilation. But if you would take a closer look at some of the pictures on the front, something might catch your eye. And that's what caught my eye when I was looking through this at Lee's house, and I was so impressed with who's on here that he said, oh, you can have it if you like. And I was like, oh yeah, okay. And yeah, the reason is track one, side one is Black Sabbath, Paranoid. Then track two, Smoke on the Water by Deep Purple, of course. Track three, Holy Roller by Nazareth. Track four, Evil Woman by Electric Light Orchestra. Okay, track 5, You've Made Me So Very Happy by Blood, Sweat and Tears. We have Albatross by Fleetwood Mac. Glass of Champagne by Sailor. If you're not aware of that song, go and check it out. It's a fantastic bit of pop. Mid-70s, I think. Fire Brigade by The Move, which is an excellent track from the 60s, I'm pretty sure. And Family Affair by Sly and the Family Stone. And side one ends with T-Rex, Ride a White Swan. So yeah, whew. Oh, what a lineup. Track 2, Itchy Park by the Small Faces. We have Sylvia's Mother by Dr. Hook. Little Does She Know by the Kersal Flyers. Not aware of that song or the band. No, might just give it a quick spin. Seeing as I said I wasn't going to show anything that I hadn't already listened to. So here we have there's a label, so we're on side 2. God, this writing's tiny. It's minuscule. Right, so we're on side 2, aren't we? Right, just give us a moment. Right, so this is the Kersal Flyers. I would have imagined from the name that they were a bit sort of like, I don't know, Hatfield in the North, that kind of pub rock. Sounds very poppy in the 70s. Oh, talking. What year this was? Where they're from? Let's have a look on the line, shall we? It's got that kind of mud-esque. Was it Elvis that did this kind of thing, was he?
I knew that she'd see me.
It's kind of narrating. Right, Kersal Flyers. Kersal English pub rock band. I was not wrong, okay. The Kersal Flyers are a British pop band formed in Southend-on-Sea in 1973. Been to Southend-on-Sea once. It was enough. They are most famous for their 1976 single, Little Does She Know, which was a top 20 hit, okay, and with the subject of a BBC documentary following them on tour in 1975. Wow, okay.
That's about it.
Oh yeah, they were friends with Dr. Feelgood, and they were signed to Jonathan King's UK Records. I wonder what they had to do for that contract. Okay. Alright. So now I know what it sounds like. Okay, next. I just thought I'd spin this one because I'm not familiar with it. This is the Sensational Alex Harvey Band and their song Boston Tea Party. Okay. Nope, not one I'm familiar with. Right, so what are we up to? Okay, so Little Does She Know by the Kersal Flyers, which we just heard, and the Boston Tea Party, okay. Reasons by Earth, Wind and Fire. White Shade of Pale by Procol Harum. My Generation by The Who. Red House by Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix on a Ronco compilation, everybody. And Pictures of Matchstick Men by Status Quo, and we finish off the whole thing by All the Young Dudes by Mott the Hoople. Wow, the supergroups indeed. Yeah, this is exactly the sort of compilation that I like. It's got a bit of everything on here, hasn't it? Heavy metal, pub rock, Earth, Wind and Fire, whatever the sensational Alex Harvey band is. So if you ever see this in a charity shop, I would recommend picking it up. And oh yeah, there's something I just noticed now, and I don't know if you'd be able to see that. I mean, I couldn't read it with my normal eyes. I will do a oh my god. Right, so I don't know if you can read this. This is in the tiniest font ever created. It says, Erratum. Ronco Productions Limited wish to state that the photo of Deep Purple is not in fact Deep Purple. We apologise for any inconvenience this may cause. And they've put the sticker over a picture of the Kersal Flares. Okay, so this is the offending photo of not Deep Purple, but anybody, any ideas who this is? Going by what I've just told you who's on this, I have no idea. So who is the not Deep Purple? Please leave your answers in the comments below. So this came out in 1977. So this came out in 1977. So what, height of punk really? So I'm guessing that a lot of these bands were probably a bit old hats at that point, a bit unhip, a bit sort of dinosaur music that, you know, your dad liked. Bands like Nazareth and Deep Purple. But of course now, an absolute quality lineup of tunes on the most part. Maybe not Sylvia's Mother, not quite crazy about that one. Right, so that was the big hit, what was it called? So that was The Supergroups by Ronco. Okay, next up was another freebie. This one was gifted to me by a work colleague who found it in his attic. He just moved into a new house and was clearing out the loft, and he said, "Oh, you like vinyl, don't you, John? I found a record. Do you want it?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. Who's it by?" And he's like, "I have no idea." So it's this. It's the Motors. This is a 10-inch record, and it's their song "Love and Loneliness." Now I only know the Motors through their song. I've never heard this one, "Love and Loneliness." It's on yellow vinyl as well, with a ridiculously big label on it. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, completely unnecessary. And it's got this kind of weird sort of pattern on it as well. I don't know if you can, the light's catching that. Yeah, I don't know if that's supposed to be part of the actual vinyl. The kind of like wrinkly snakeskin effect. So yeah, 10-inch single with a massive big label on it. And this is from 1980. I made some notes at the time when I spanned this a couple of weeks ago, and it just but yeah, no indication on here which is, there's no writing on the label whatsoever, so no idea which is side A and which is side B. I've written down here, I've just got some notes, hope you don't mind me referring to them. Love and Loneliness, which is the first side. Oof, not good. It sounds like Neil Diamond doing an early Bryan Adams disco rock song. Particularly awful, I've written here. However, the side 2, the B-side, Time for Makeup, I thought, geesh, middle eight's okay. It grows on you though. It leans towards kinkishness. This is much better. This is a much better song than the side A shite. And it finishes with some crazy Chaz and Dave style piano. So yeah, I think maybe it was someone at the record company must have thought, oh yeah, that one sounds very 1980, we'll put that one out. Whereas the B-side was much better. So I can't really say I would recommend Love and Loneliness by the Motors. However, I'm not going to turn my nose up at some free vinyl, especially coloured vinyl. So thank you, Lewis. He's not going to watch this. Right, just a couple more. Just a quickie. I was in my local charity shop a couple of weeks ago, a place where I go in and buy most of my stuff, and there was nothing new. I'd looked through the crates and they didn't have anything that was interesting, so I went over to the counter where the CDs were, and I was just browsing through the CDs, and I saw this guy come in, and he had some what looked like records under his arm, and he was talking to the lady at the counter, and he was giving her the records and saying, "Oh, I think you should this one should be this price, and this one should be that price." And I noticed he had this one, Beatles, for sale. I could just see the top of it. And so that, of course, piqued my interest even more. And he was saying, yeah, there's a bit of a scratch on side 2. So I think you should maybe put this one out for £4. And as soon as he said that, I was like, I'll give you £4 for that right now, before she had anything, before she could give an answer. And the woman was like, okay, yeah, sure. So yeah, £4 for a original pressing. This is a original mono pressing of the Beatles for sale. In very good nick. It does indeed have a scuff on side B, and it does look like on the cover, I don't know if you can quite catch that, something quite heavy has rolled onto it. But this is the first time I've ever had a copy of this on vinyl, and when I saw him holding it, I thought, it looks like it's coming apart at the top, but no. I mean, if you've already got this, you probably know what's going to happen next, and I didn't have a clue. It's actually a gatefold. Yeah, that was a surprise. And I showed this to Ed a couple of weeks ago, and he was like, I didn't know that was a gatefold. So yeah, there's a bit of mould at the bottom there, I don't know if you can quite see it. So yeah, there are some scuff marks on it, but apart from that, it's in very good nick. Whoops, it wasn't very good nick. So there's the, it's not the original inner sleeve though, that's the only thing. So yeah, I did check the matrix numbers and everything. This is the first mono pressing. Yeah, so I was actually able to get a good listen to this in mono for the first time, and I was very impressed. It does sound very full, very energetic. I'm still not crazy about Mr. Moonlight though. It's not one of my favourite Beatles songs. I know they're probably being ironic, but yeah. So I managed to get myself a Beatles for sale for £4. Right, and finally for this video, something which I found a little bit interesting anyway, hopefully you will too. You know, when you're looking through racks and records and something catches your eye, you know, you think, oh, that deserves a closer look. This is the Tins. Now, hands up if you've heard of the Tins and their album Buying in Bulk. So I'll just let you have a look at the cover. Yeah, so what caught my eye, I think, was not only obviously from the 70s, but this is very much, I don't know if you can tell, it's not glossy at all. It's quite matte. And so I flipped it over, and there's the B-side. Now, I'm always up for anything that looks a little bit self-released, and I looked on here, and this is what actually got my interest and made me buy it. It says printed through Acorn Blackpool. So this turns out to be a band from Blackpool, funnily enough, from the 1970s, and to which I have a little bit of a very, very, very tenuous connection. I'll explain. The main guy who did all the music on here is called Philly Dunstone. No, sorry, the main guy who did all the music on here is called Philly Duntone. Not his real name, as far as I'm aware. So Philly Duntone, after he was the Tins, along with, who's the other guy on here? Willie Williams, was in a band called Zoo Boutique, who were quite well known in Blackpool. And Zoo Boutique had a guy in it called Duncan Jowett, legendary Dunk, from Blackpool. He was in lots of bands. He was from Fleetwood, and he was in a band called the Shining Suns, who were gigging around the same time as I was gigging in Blackpool and Fleetwood. And I don't know if we ever played on. We may have done a rock battle together, but I kind of know him. I'm sort of nodding, you know when you're in a band and other people are in a band and you kind of, say hello on the bus and things like that. But I'm not going to go out as far as saying he's a mate, but I know who he is. Anyway, so yeah, so that was interesting for me. Anyway. So anyway, but what was interesting about this album is it's actually homemade, as far as I can tell. It says here on the back, recorded on a TIAC 4-track Porter studio in Philly's bedroom, September 1980 to October 1981, in the Tins' spare time under strenuous conditions. The Tins are unexclusively mismanaged by luxurious Liggy. This is the credits on the back here. Supermarket paraphernalia, Messrs Fine and Fair. Special thanks to Mummy for electricity and tolerance, Karen for lollipops, Leslie for John. Sleeve design by Mr. and Mrs. Genton Tin. Photography by Deno, Robbo and Lego. Okay, so yeah, mastered at SRT in London. So as far as I can tell, he made this at home on a 4-track and got it mastered and was released on Tin Tracks, which I'm assuming is their own record label. So I couldn't find anything about the record label Tin Tracks. I did do a quick search on Google, and all I came up with was a Tina Tracks, who had a Facebook profile, and she had nothing to do with this album, but she's currently working on new material. So yeah, about the music, I'm sure you're wondering. This is what I would call late 70s, very squeeze influenced kind of post-punk, early new wave-ish, I guess is the best way I can describe it. If you've heard Squeeze's Cool for Cats, then this will give you, that'll give you a good idea about what this sounds like. I will do a needle drop.
I raise her up and she isn't there. She's gone on holiday, who could it be? I only know that it isn't me. Never mind, I said, it's alright. It's just that like me and Ruth, you know, I thought we could go out for a drink or something tonight, like, you know, we'll go into the pictures maybe. We could go and see Star Wars. Oh, The Empire Strikes Back, that's a good film, isn't it? Yeah. Never mind now. I'll stay in. I'll stay in and clean me bike. Needs a good clean anyway. Yeah, can't do that.
I did make some notes on the tracks, if you are curious. Okay, so track 1, True Story. I've written here... wild guitar, nice bit of a Bon Tempi outro. So yeah, it does sound homemade, but in a really good way. It's kind of, it has aged really well. Some of the notes I've put here is like the 4-track Boston. Track 2, Gainsay, more club disco indie pop.
Suggested all this pussy pudding's quite unnecessary. Gainsay, what do you hope to win? Gainsay, deny and contradict. Gainsay.
With some brilliant sounding percussion at the end. A track called Japan, written here. You can guess how this opens. Bogey Man, some dodgy lyrics. Okay, epic synths. Alright, and then the final track on side 1 is Kathryn Kimono. The verse riff sounds very familiar. Is it the Velvets? Is it Brimful of Asher? It couldn't be that. Obviously, it's too early. But yeah, it's almost an exact copy of Sweet Jane by the Velvet Underground and Lou Reed. Is it Lou Reed and Velvet Underground, or is that a solo one? Let me have a... No, it's the Velvet Underground, isn't it? Sweet Jane. By the Velvet Underground, featuring Lou Reed to give it its correct title. Oh, Lou. Missing Out the Words, track 7. Reminds me of Space, you know, the 80s band Space, not the 90s Britpopish band Space. Sounds great, would have made a brilliant song, but still okay as an instrumental. The next track, I Can See No Reason. Oh wow, I like this. Upbeat, chilled pop. Okay, this song has great songwriting. Number 4, Disco Casualty, awesome analog synths. Electro Lou Reed. And finally we have Justice, which is the lyrics mention public sector, Tories and being downtrodden. So yeah, very much a grim late 1970s. Are the Tories written by then? I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, the Tins, buying in bulk. If you ever see this, I would recommend picking up. There isn't really a version of it anywhere on the internet, but there will be soon, because I'm gonna put this up on my other channel. I'll put a link to it down below. It's going to be the full thing. It's not going to be each track. There are a couple of tracks already up there, so hopefully no one will object to me putting it on. I'm not going to try and make any money of it. But yeah, I think people should be able to hear this now again. This is the Tins, buying in bulk from 1981. Alright, that's it for this long overdue haul episode. Still got plenty more videos to film when I get round to them, so they'll be trickling out like an old man's... they'll be being released shortly. They'll you know, they're on the way. Anyway, so thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all next time. Hi everyone, it's Editing Johnny here, just coming in with a bit of an update. So last night I put the full album onto YouTube on my other channel, and my brother saw it, and he sent me a message and he says, that record you just uploaded, did you know that the one of the guys on the front cover was the older brother of one of his friends from school? So this guy here, so my link to this album is even slightly less tenuous than I thought. So yeah, this guy here, here is the older brother of my older brother's friend. No, I'll say that again. So this guy here is the older brother of my older brother's best mate from school. So yeah, who knew? And he's from Fleetwood. So yeah, unfortunately passed away a couple of years ago. A guy called John. So yeah, excellent album. I definitely recommend it. Go and check out the link I'm going to put down below if you've heard some of the clips. It's well worth hearing the whole thing. So anyway, I find this really is the end of the video now. So bye.